When I was a little kid, my dad took me to a foreign film called Aguierre, The Wrath of God. It's about Spanish conquistadors that were exploring South America. I believe they were looking for the lost city of gold. They started off with a huge army and this big expedition and entourage that were exploring the area and conquering. And it's interesting, though, because their leader, named Aguirre, he was a power-hungry, kind of crazy dude, and it just shows how he plunged them deeper into the jungle and basically to their deaths. In the final scene, he's essentially the sole survivor, just floating down the Amazon, and while he's doing this, just moments from death, he's making these great plans of how he's going to conquer, and he'll set up a great civilization that will last thousands of years, and going on and on. And that movie was very entertaining and also pretty depressing, but even as a kid, one of the takeaways I got from watching that was that sometimes there's a fine line between being crazy and delusional, trying to do something that's impossible, versus someone that's overcoming all odds and working hard to do something. Another movie that comes to mind is Lawrence of Arabia. I love the scene when he goes back into the desert when they lose a guy, and everyone's telling him, don't dare go back, you won't survive a day in the desert traveling like that. His friend is always telling him, it is written, emphasizing what he can and can't do. But Lawrence doesn't listen, and I love this scene when he proves him wrong.
Nothing is written.
About 7 years ago, I went to a fitness convention, and one of the speakers there was James Lawrence. You might know him better by his nickname, the Iron Cowboy. When he was speaking, he shared plans that he was going to attempt to run 50 triathlons in 50 states in 50 days. And I thought just the logistics behind the travel would make it impossible, let alone the physical part. When I heard his original plan, I was a little amused. I thought it was amazing, but also at the same time, the realist in me saying, he'll make it 3 or 4 days maybe before the injuries start stacking up and he can't go on. And I was shocked as I tuned in every day over that summer to see that he did all 50 days. So it's just amazing what persistence and belief and a good support team and things like that, the amazing things you can accomplish that others might consider impossible. Some other examples of people that did the impossible was Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile. You've got Eliud Kipchoge several years ago that ran 26.2 miles in under 2 hours. Then there's the movie Rudy with a true story. People didn't think he had the physique or the potential to play at Notre Dame, but it's cool to see him be able to accomplish that dream. When I was a teenager, I went to a basketball camp and they handed out some papers with motivational sayings on them. And I kept this one I've had for a long time. Here's the original nasty yellow faded paper. I got it laminated. But this says, there is no chance, no fate, no destiny that can circumvent or hinder or control the firm resolve of a determined soul. Or more eloquently put,
yo, you can do anything. Anything's possible. The world is yours.
So the reason I chose this topic is because I'm actually doing something next month that is kind of difficult for me. It's putting me out of my comfort zone, and I'm not quite sure if I'm just determined and motivated or if I'm delusional and insane. So I'm walking that line right now between the two, but I'll share some details with you about that on the next video next week.